the new Jeep Spring Clearance event at Koons Jeep.
Good Morning America fired at Fox. Bill O'Reilly out after 20 years.
It is the end of an era here at the Fox News channel.
The Factor aired overnight. O'Reilly's name removed from the title after fallout from that sexual harassment scandal. We'll have O'Reilly's response this morning. What will losing its biggest star mean for the cable news giant Fox?
New showdown. The judge President Trump targeted on the campaign trail.
There's a hostility toward me by the judge. I believe he happens to be Spanish, which is fine.
Now back in the spotlight, assigned to that headline-making case of a young immigrant deported to Mexico by the Trump administration. Plus, why the Supreme Court could be heading for another major shakeup.
Passenger versus pilot. The angry fight caught on camera. A man seen shoving this American Airlines pilot just moments after landing, even following him out to his car. What sparked the flight fight?
I need some good news, baby.
And oh baby, Serena Williams serving up some major news with this photo, announcing she's pregnant. The secret she kept while winning a record-breaking Grand Slam. What will this mean for the superstar's future on the court?
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good Morning America. A lot of excitement for Serena Williams right there.
A lot of excitement for her. She posted this photo on Snapchat saying 20 weeks. I think we all figured out what that was, right?
Yes, she looks fantastic. She's engaged to the co-founder of the social news site Reddit. So much to celebrate for Serena Williams. And she was celebrating, as we mentioned, that historic Grand Slam when she was 8 weeks pregnant and no one knew.
That is just incredible. Great day for them. Not so much Bill O'Reilly, fired by Fox News. After a string of sexual harassment accusations, O'Reilly got the news just after he met Pope Francis at the Vatican. That ended a more than 20-year run that began with the start of Fox News in 1996. The O'Reilly Factor has been a cash cow for Fox, the top-rated show in cable news for 16 years, but advertisers abandoned the show after the New York Times reported that O'Reilly paid settlements to 5 women accusing him of inappropriate behavior. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis at Fox News headquarters with all the latest. Good morning, Rebecca.
And good morning to you, George. And executives here at Fox News reportedly spent all day Wednesday in back-to-back meetings deciding the fate of Bill O'Reilly, the network's top star, his show, its top performer. And after a deep review and consultation with attorneys, they ultimately decided to terminate their biggest star.
Again, thanks for watching us tonight. I am Bill O'Reilly.
Overnight, the show known for 20 years as The O'Reilly Factor hit the air with a new title, just The Factor.
It is the end of an era here at the Fox News channel. As we mentioned earlier, Bill O'Reilly is leaving this chair and this network after more than 20 years.
Just hours earlier, 21st Century Fox announcing nearly 3 weeks after growing allegations surfaced about the star regarding sexual harassment and mistreatment that it is severing ties with O'Reilly, saying after a thorough and careful review of the allegations, the company and Bill O'Reilly have agreed that Bill O'Reilly will not be returning to the Fox News channel.
Caution, you are about to enter the no spin zone. The Factor begins right now.
The Murdoch family, which runs Fox News, adding in an internal memo obtained by ABC News, this decision follows an extensive review done in collaboration with outside counsel. O'Reilly, who just hours before the announcement was photographed on vacation, shaking hands with the Pope, releasing his own statement, saying it is tremendously disheartening that we part ways due to completely unfounded claims.
Civil war in Congress. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo.
For 16 years, O'Reilly's show was the #1 program on cable news, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars annually. But in the last few weeks, at least 83 ad buyers dropped out. Network executives reportedly worried that more accusers might come forward if O'Reilly stayed on the air, making him a liability.
They want their audience to know nothing is changing. Bill has left the building, but nothing else is going to change.
And for now, Fox News has revamped its primetime lineup. Beginning Monday, Tucker Carlson will take over O'Reilly's old time spot. What we don't know at this point is how much Bill O'Reilly will leave with in severance. Many speculating this morning it could be in the ballpark of what former network boss Roger Ailes took when he departed. George, that would be in the ballpark of
million.
A lot of payouts there from Fox. Rebecca, thanks very much. We'll talk about this now with our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Reports that Rupert Murdoch was really resisting this, but in the end had no choice.
Yeah, and I think that's right, because remember, this isn't about those New York Times reports. This is about what came forward after that. And I think they were in a spot where, with the number of allegations, with Paul Weiss investigating, with them handing this to 21st Century Fox and saying, here's what we've amassed, that they may have felt that they had no choice. Now remember, this isn't in a vacuum.
But they were losing business.
But I don't believe it was about the advertisers. I really don't. I mean, do I think that that was relevant? Yes. Do I think that was the ultimate reason that this happened? No. I think that they had promised a changed culture in the wake of Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes was an even more seismic event, in my view, than Bill O'Reilly. He created Fox News. He led Fox News. He led the culture at Fox News. When Roger Ailes was ousted, changed everything there. And I think that that ultimately led to what we've seen here. And so you can't view Bill O'Reilly and just say, what happened to Bill O'Reilly? You have to view it in the, what happened to Bill O'Reilly after Roger Ailes.
And getting rid of Bill O'Reilly does not end their legal vulnerability necessarily.
Well, remember that for sexual harassment claims, you've got a 3-year statute of limitations. So anyone who believes that he or she was harassed has to bring a lawsuit within 3 years. So I think that the vulnerability is going to be somewhat limited there in terms of the time frame. But I think that this is more a PR issue. When I say PR, it's also internal. You've also got all the employees there. It's not just the people on the outside. It's not just the fans of the show. It's not just the activists. It's also the employees.
And a real test now for Fox to see if they can survive without their stars. Their primetime alignment entirely changed.
One of the things that Fox has always prided itself on is that it's not dependent on one personality. That it's the Fox brand, that we can lose someone, we can lose another person, we've still got Fox. Well, now this is the ultimate test, because Bill O'Reilly was Fox News to a lot of people. And when you lose Bill O'Reilly, now you're going to test it. But look, they've got a new team in there, and I think that you're going to be, I think people who say Fox is done don't understand Fox.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
All right, and there are some other important stories we're following this morning. A potential bombshell in the Supreme Court. There is speculation Justice Anthony Kennedy may be preparing to retire, and that would mean another appointee for President Trump. And the Trump administration is announcing they will review the Iran nuclear deal. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson talking tough, calling it a failure despite Iran's compliance. Also, President Trump is getting ready to host the Italian Prime Minister at the White House this afternoon, all ahead of his first trip overseas as president. We'll have much more on all of that. But first, let's get to the new twist in the immigration case making headlines this morning. A 23-year-old dreamer deported. And now we know the judge who is set to hear that case is the same one Trump attacked on the campaign trail, questioning his impartiality because of his Mexican heritage. Our senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega has that story. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Amy, good morning to you. You remember it. This was a major controversy from the campaign that found then candidate Trump under fire from even his own allies. The judge that Trump said shouldn't preside over one of his cases because of his heritage is now presiding over another case involving the Trump administration and immigration.
This morning, the judge at the center of one of President Trump's most controversial campaign moments is back in the spotlight. By complete coincidence, Judge Gonzalo Curiel will now preside over a controversial case involving the Trump administration, a federal lawsuit brought by a dreamer who was deported to Mexico. Then candidate Trump famously attacked the Indiana-born judge who presided over a Trump University suit, calling him unfit to oversee the case because of his Mexican heritage.
There's a hostility toward me by the judge, tremendous hostility, beyond belief. I believe he happens to be Spanish, which is fine. He's Hispanic, which is fine.
Before Curiel now, a case involving Juan Manuel Montes, a 23-year-old who illegally immigrated with his parents as a young child, a so-called dreamer who under President Obama received protected status from deportation. President Trump had said under his new immigration rules, dreamers would also be protected.
They shouldn't be very worried. I do have a big heart. We're going to take care of everybody.
Immigration officials now pushing back, saying Montes had left the country, keeping him eligible for deportation. Now it's Judge Curiel who's in the middle.
So how did this case end up again before this judge? Well, in this Southern California district court, judges are selected based on a rotating schedule. Experts tell us this is basically a case, George, of legal roulette, a complete coincidence.
Okay, Cecilia Vega, thanks very much. We move on now to Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and his tough talk on Iran. At a press conference late yesterday, he called the Iran nuclear deal a failure.
This deal represents the same failed approach of the past that brought us to the current imminent threat we face from North Korea.
Our Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Radis is here. And Martha, this statement came just hours after the State Department certified that Iran was complying with the nuclear deal.
Exactly. Tough talk, but they're not getting rid of the Iran deal, clearly. And this was the campaign that wanted to rip it up, wanted to start over, saying it's a terrible, terrible deal. And I think you'll see that in the coming months. They'll keep saying it, and they'll try to see if Iran is complying, but I don't think it's going anywhere.
So the sanctions will remain lifted. Meanwhile, the Secretary of State's former company, ExxonMobil, looking for relief from those Russian sanctions which were imposed after the invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, want to start drilling again in the Black Sea. Now, Rex Tillerson has recused himself from anything involving Exxon. But on the Hill, a little bit of outrage. John McCain saying, are they crazy?
Likely not going to happen. Meantime, we've got these Russian bombers again off the coast of Alaska being intercepted by U.S. fighters.
Yeah, just back and forth and back and forth. You know, at first we thought, well, this isn't really a big deal. They haven't done it in a couple of years, but they're in this identification zone, an air defense identification zone, and they should identify their aircraft. They didn't. They had to be intercepted by 2 F-22s on Monday, and then again some AWACS aircraft going in and saying, hey, you got to identify yourself. So there's a little provocation everywhere in the world. I think it's just to say, hey, we're here, we're still strong, we can come off the coast of Alaska.
Martha, thank you very much.
All right, and now to the report that Supreme Court Anthony Kennedy may be ready to step down after nearly 30 years on the bench. Kennedy, who is 80 years old, was appointed by President Reagan and has been on the court since 1988. He is considered the court's pivotal swing vote, and part of his legacy is the newest justice, Neil Gorsuch, who was one of his clerks. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, has more on all of this. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Amy. Predicting a Supreme Court vacancy is tricky business. Justices tend to be extremely secretive about their plans until they actually announce them. But we noticed quite a hint in a small Iowa newspaper. The Muscatine Journal interviewed Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, who told the paper, I would expect a resignation this summer. So why is that significant? Well, Chuck Grassley is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. That's the committee that would hold the hearings on President Trump's next nominee. If there is anybody in Congress who would know about such things, it is Chuck Grassley. And more than that, Amy, this is consistent with what I have been hearing in conservative legal circles for weeks, that Justice Kennedy has been telling friends and colleagues that he intends to retire this year, possibly after the current term of the Supreme Court is up on June 30th.
All right, so let's talk about that potential confirmation process. The president considered Gorsuch to be a shoo-in for the Supreme Court, but we all know that ended up with Senate Republicans resorting to that nuclear option, changing the rules to get him confirmed. So how does that affect how another vacancy would be filled?
Well, the nuclear option has been exercised. That means the rules are changed. So the next justice would also require only 51 votes. There are 52 Republicans. They have the votes to do this. But, Amy, replacing Justice Scalia with Gorsuch did not alter the balance of power on the court. There are now 4 conservatives, there are 4 liberals, and right in the middle as the swing vote in many, many cases is Justice Kennedy. So that means replacing him with a solid conservative could significantly, decisively alter the balance of power on the Supreme Court. I expect that the next confirmation battle will be a much bigger, more high-profile fight, even with that nuclear option exercised.
All right, Jonathan Karl, we appreciate it. Thank you. Michael.
All right, Amy, now to the investigation into former Patriot star Aaron Hernandez's death. His family is questioning reports from officials that Hernandez killed himself in his cell. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is outside the prison in Shirley, Mass. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. This was a surprise to those who knew him. Hernandez was in general population inside this prison in a cell by himself. Authorities say there were no signs he would take his own life, telling us he was not on suicide watch.
This morning, questions surrounding the death of former NFL superstar Aaron Hernandez.
Hernandez is back. Something's not right. Something doesn't add up.
Corrections officers finding the 27-year-old in his cell just after 3 Wednesday morning, hanging from a bedsheet tied to a window. The Bible verse, John 3:16, written across his forehead. The door barricaded from the inside. Prison officials calling his death a suicide, but this morning some of those close to him aren't convinced, including his cousin.
He was in really good spirits. So for this to happen, we're shocked.
Hernandez's former agent Brian Murphy releasing a statement saying absolutely no chance he took his own life. Chico was not a saint, but my family and I loved him, and he would never take his own life.
The Patriots are an incredible organization.
His death happening the same day that his former team visited the White House to mark their recent Super Bowl victory. But it was just last week Hernandez was acquitted for the 2012 murder of 2 men.
Not guilty.
Emotional, wiping away tears, hearing the verdict, blowing kisses to his daughter in court. Hernandez, a star tight end who once had a $40 million contract, was serving a life sentence for the 2013 murder of his friend, Odin Lloyd.
Guilty of murder in the first degree.
A verdict he was in the process of appealing. His lawyer calling for an investigation and saying Aaron was looking forward to an opportunity for a second chance to prove his innocence.
Authorities who are now investigating the circumstances of Hernandez's death are looking at his recent time here in prison, any fights and any possible gang-related disputes he may have had. Michael.
All right. Thank you, Eva. Just tragic all the way around.
It certainly is. We move on now to an airport confrontation that was all caught on tape. A passenger, look at this, getting physical with an American Airlines pilot. This all happened after they deplaned. And ABC's David Curley has more on the story about what exactly happened there. Good morning, David.
Amy, another sign of the tension between some passengers and flight crews. This one, as you mentioned, after a flight, a physical altercation.
Walking through the Kansas City airport, watch as a passenger shoves a pilot. It happened last week after a flight from Dallas. You can see the passenger trying to get past the pilot holding a phone. Then the shove. The pilot tripping backwards over his bag, then heading outside where his wife was waiting, and police intervened. The passenger, identified as Edward Foster, told police this started when the pilot, apparently traveling in the cabin, was, quote, taking up too much room on the aircraft and being disrespectful, causing Foster to follow him outside the secure area in an attempt to take a photo of the pilot's badge with his cell phone. The police report says Foster's phone was knocked out of his hand when this happened.
Just say there's no flight!
This just days after that video of a United Airlines passenger being dragged from an aircraft to make room for a crew member on a flight leaving Chicago. In the Kansas City incident, although the pilot walked away from the altercation, police say he, quote, suffered lacerations to both legs and bruising to his forearm.
Now, the suspect was charged with intentionally inflicting injury and will be in court next month, facing the possibility of a fine and up to 6 months in jail, guys.
All right, David Curley, thanks so much. Lots of tense moments in airports. People
Every
trying to
day.
get around, I know.
And absolutely, another tense moment that was caught on tape in Southern California on the freeway. A man's car somehow got wedged into the back of this truck, and the truck driver apparently had no idea. He drove for 4 miles like this, even with other drivers trying to get his attention. But when he finally realized that he pulled over, and the driver of the car, you see waving there saying, please stop, appeared a little bit dazed, but everybody was okay.
Considering.
Yeah, pretty calm considering. It's a good reminder, George, do not tailgate.
That is a very visual reminder. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's go to Rob. He's got some severe weather moving into the Midwest.
Good morning, George. We had some hail across parts of Kansas, 6-mile-an-hour winds from there all the way to Michigan. Today, we'll get into Detroit, Cleveland, Dayside, and then back through Texas and Oklahoma by this evening. A bigger system coming in for tomorrow. That would include Dallas and Oklahoma City for severe weather. For now, though, your warm city is brought to you by CarMax.
You can now reserve car online, and CarMax will hold it for you up to 7 days for free. You come in when it's convenient. I know this because I'm from 7 days in the future. Now, don't be frightened. 7 days in the future is a glorious place. After all, you had 2 good hair days in a row. Perfect. Right out of bed. And this car you reserved at CarMax.com is still being held for you for free. Pretty sweet. Or, as we like to say, from 7 days in the future, we still say pretty sweet. It's basically the same.
A few brief showers this morning, but gearing up for some afternoon thunderstorms possible for some of us, showing up on Futurecast after about 4 o'clock today. Daytime highs coming in the low 80s, so we are much warmer compared to yesterday, and we should get away with some sunshine as well. As we head through the upcoming weekend, temperatures stay in the 80s for Friday, but then falling much cooler for Saturday.